Hello and welcome back to Scout Report. With Real Madrid still adjusting to life after Zidane and Ronaldo, here are 5 ways that rivals Atleti can become the Spanish capital's premier club. 5. Score more goals. While this may seem an obvious place to start, Atletico Madrid's world-class defensive setup and counter-attacking style means their lack of prolificacy in front of goal hasn't stopped them from consistently securing top 3 finishes in La Liga. However, since Diego Simeone took over in 2011, the club have only finished in the top 2 twice, which is indicative of the fact that their goal tallies have significantly lagged behind those of Barca and Real. In 2017-18, the Rocky Blancos scored just 58 goals in the league, 8 less than 12th placed Real Sociedad, and recorded a goal difference of plus 36, just over half that of champions Barcelona. Had it not been for Real's uncharacteristically bad form at the beginning of the campaign, it's highly unlikely Simeone could have secured that runners-up position. If we want to see the kind of numbers the side should be hitting, let's take a look at their famous 2013-14 campaign. They hit 77 goals in the league, the only time they've topped the 70 mark under Simeone, and recorded a goal difference of plus 51, also a record for the Argentinian coach. Fast forward to the current season and a lack of firepower is evident. At the time of recording, Antoine Griezmann has amassed just 2 league goals in 8 appearances, and while his tally of 3 assists make his contributions to the team pretty respectable, it doesn't change the fact they've already scored 10 less than Barcelona. So far, the addition of Gelson Martins and Thomas Lemar, who have scored 1 goal between them, has done little to affect change. And if they keep scoring at their current rate, Atleti will end the season with 43 goals, which would be their worst tally since 2005, when Simeone was on the playing staff. But this isn't simply a case of not putting away opportunities. The team aren't creating enough. Currently, Atleti are taking 11.5 shots a match as a side, whereas in the 2013-14 campaign, they were managing over 13 a game. Over the course of a season, these kind of numbers make a big difference, and it perhaps explains that while Atleti have been adept at not losing to their biggest rivals, they have also struggled to beat the likes of Leganes and Eibar, teams you cannot afford to slip up against in a title charge. They must either produce more as a collective or buy a striker who guarantees more than 20 league goals a season, something Griezmann has failed to do in the last 2 campaigns. 4. Initiate the new defence. While a world-class defence coupled with Simeone's outstanding coaching has undoubtedly been a cornerstone of Atletico Madrid's improvement in the 2010s, it's equally essential that they regenerate their backline in order to maintain their progress. As we've already highlighted, Atleti's compactness at the back has largely compensated for a lack of goals up top. They've conceded less than 30 in every La Liga season since 2013, letting in on average 24 per campaign. The only other Spanish side to concede less than that in a single season were Barcelona in 2014-15. However, what is also glaringly obvious is that the Rocky Blancos back line has aged considerably since their La Liga triumph of 2013-14. That season, the average age of the Atleti defensive contingent was 25, a figure which has since risen to 28. Real Madrid have a full 2 years on them at 26. What's more, the current starting back 4 contains 3 players who are 32 or older: Juanfran, Diego Godin and Felipe Luis. That trio have been among the most consistent performers of the Simeone era, but with all their contracts due to come to an end in 2019, the young guns and new arrivals need to be blooded quick. While Jose Jimenez has fully consolidated himself in the side, Lucas Hernandez has been limited to just 4 league starts in 2018-19, with just 1 coming in his preferred left-back position. Along with summer signing Santiago Arias, who is yet to start a La Liga match, the task is clear: succeed Juanfran and Felipe Luis and hold down the full-back berths effectively. Meanwhile, there are early signs of an oncoming decline for club captain Godin. While his tackles and interceptions per game have dropped over the last 2 years from 3.7 to 3.1, his aerial presence also took a hit in 2017-18, as he won just 53% of his duels compared to 62% the previous campaign. However, what is most alarming is the fact that in the last 6 seasons, the usually reliable Uruguayan has made just 2 major errors leading to goals, and both have come in the 2018-19 season. With arguably the world's best keeper holding fort between the sticks, Atleti's goals against tally still stands at an impressive 4 after 8 games. But we can't see the current backline keeping up their ridiculous standards beyond this season. Renewal is essential. 3. Keep hold of Oblak. As we just alluded to, the fact that Atleti are near impenetrable when it comes to conceding goals owes a lot to the continued excellence of Jan Oblak. The Slovenian stopper became Simeone's number one in 2015 and has been a pillar of stability ever since, winning the Zamora Trophy for the league's best goalkeeper for 3 seasons running. In 2015-16, he matched the best goalkeeping performance in La Liga history, equaling the record 0.47 goals conceded per match managed by Deportivo's Francisco Liaño in 1994. And he's more or less keeping up those standards currently, conceding on average 0.5 goals a game this season and last. Plus, it's clearly down to more than just having a solid defence in front of him, as he also makes 4.6 saves per goal conceded. For comparison, David De Gea made 3.5 saves per goal in his all-time great season for Man United in 2017-18. At the time of recording, Oblak has shut out the opposition for 4 consecutive domestic games, and it's not surprising when you see his overall record in La Liga. He has kept 73 clean sheets and has let in just 71 goals, which is frankly ridiculous. Clearly, it's key for Simeone to hold on to the outstanding keeper, especially while he transitions to defence over the next 12 months, and he has reason to be confident. According to reports, Oblak rejected Chelsea's advances in the summer, despite the London club matching his €100 million buyout clause, a very reasonable price in the current market. However, the stopper's loyalty will no doubt be tested further in the future, especially considering he's earning just €29,000 a week at Atleti, a small fraction of Kepa's deal with the Blues, which is said to be around the €220k a week mark. Surely a pay rise is in order. 2. Improve cup performance. Now, this is a rather obvious observation, but for all of Simeone's success in Madrid, he hasn't garnered as much silverware as he deserves. The club's triumph in the 2017-18 Europa League was the first trophy they had lifted since La Liga in 2014, meaning that Super Cups aside, the club have won just 1 in 4 years. On the face of it, this is probably a bit harsh. For one, Los Colchoneros were unfortunate to lose out to Real in the 2016 Champions League final, and Simeone is now the club's most successful coach ever. However, the fact remains that in the same 4-year period, their city rivals have picked up 3 UCLs and a La Liga title. Let's face it, Atleti will never be able to match Real's historic trophy haul. While 10 La Ligas, 10 Copas del Rey and 3 Europa Leagues is not to be sniffed at, it pales in comparison to Los Blancos' 33 league titles, 19 Copas and 13 Champions Leagues. But if Atleti are to even temporarily usurp Real's supremacy, then they must win silverware more consistently. In 2017-18, they went out at the group stages of the Champions League for the first time since 2009, and since winning the Copa del Rey in 2013, they have failed to make the final for 5 consecutive seasons. This is partly down to bad luck. They exited the Copa on 3 of those occasions to Barcelona. However, it is nonetheless the sign of a club who struggle to get over the line on big occasions. In fact, 2 of those Copa del Rey exits were losses suffered from winning positions, while they dropped 5 points from games in which they went ahead in the 2017-18 UCL group stage. Furthermore, the Atleti's defence has suffered in domestic cup competition, partly as a result of Oblak being rested, with the club conceding twice the amount per match in the Copa del Rey as they did in the league in 2017-18. Although La Liga has clearly been a priority for Simeone over the years, if he wants to add more to his trophy cabinet, he may have to start taking the cup a bit more seriously. As for that all-elusive Champions League, it's probably more a case of hoping for a more favourable draw. 1. Prepare for life after Simeone. While the issues we've highlighted so far can be sorted out in the relative short term, the prospect of Diego Simeone leaving Madrid is simply unthinkable for many Atleti fans. When he arrived at the Vicente Calderón in 2011, the Argentinian's sole managerial experience in Europe had been an 18-game stint in charge of Catania, who he'd helped keep in Serie A earlier that year. However, his spells in charge of the giant Estudiantes and River Plate across the Atlantic clearly served Simeone well. Now in his 8th season in charge of Los Colchoneros, the former midfielder has built the kind of dynasty which is almost never seen in the modern game. And when you look at his record, it's no surprise his job is as secure as it is. His win percentage in Madrid stands at 62%, better than what Alex Ferguson managed at Man United, and has been achieved despite the club's lack of spending power in comparison with their major rivals. Since Simeone took the job, Atleti have managed a net spend of €76 million in the transfer market, and yet have comfortably remained among Europe's elite. Astounding when you consider Barcelona have splashed out €414 million in the same period. So when El Cholo finally does leave, what are the main priorities? Well, when he came into the club, Simeone was able to base the side around a group of committed individuals: Godin, Juanfran, Gabi and Koke, and it currently looks like a new contingent are coming to the fore. First of all, the arrival of Rodri from Villarreal looks to be an attempt to replace the outgoing Gabi. The 22-year-old is currently averaging 5.7 tackles and interceptions per 90, about the same as the former captain was managing at his peak, and standing at a full 11 centimetres taller, Rodri also wins a much higher percentage of his aerial duels at 64%. So the DM position looks to be in safe hands, and with Koke still only 26 and Saul somehow still just 23, the club have a quality midfield built to last. Meanwhile, their attack could be lethal in years to come, with the likes of Correa and Thomas Lemar still some way to reaching the peak of their powers, and that's not even mentioning the talents of youth players such as 17-year-old Victor Morejo. The only question remaining is who could possibly replace Simeone. From the current crop of Europe's elite, Max Allegri seems like the most obvious choice. In taking the reins from Antonio Conte at Juve, he's already proven he can build on a previous manager's success, and he also has plenty of experience in managing an ageing defence. Furthermore, his 72% win ratio in Turin is quite simply world class, while a career win ratio of 53% is also highly impressive given his stints with the likes of Spal and Cagliari. Whatever the Atleti hierarchy choose to do once that fateful day comes, it will no doubt be an almighty task. So those are 5 ways that Atletico Madrid can overcome their Real rivals. But what did you guys think? Is there anything we missed out? Any ways that you would suggest? Let us know in the comments below. Now, if you've enjoyed this, why not go and check out Stat Wars The League? I'm sure it's a cracker. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.